So as a kid growing up, my dad was married 3 different times. And going through this, I dealt with physical abuse, sexual abuse. When I was 15, my whole family was saved. My dad, my mom, my brother. 2 years later, my father passed away. And that kind of changed a lot of things for me. I started running from God. Fast forward a few years, I'm a college dropout. I'm strung out on drugs and going crazy, robbing people, breaking the law. And the repercussion of this is I ended up with a 9-year prison sentence in the Florida Department of Corrections. 2012 this happened. So I go through prison. God's hand is over me the whole time. That's the only way to explain it. Some of the things I made it through, some of the things that we had to deal with, there's no other explanation. So at the end of my prison sentence, I go to work release. I choose Tallahassee. I don't know anybody in Tallahassee, but this was God's plan. I met what is now my wife at work release. She was working at a restaurant that I was working at. And at the end of my sentence, I decided to stay in Tallahassee. After a couple of weeks, I went home, seeing the same people, places, and things, and something just told me to get away from it. So by a clerical error, I was violated. My probation was violated, and I had to go to jail for a night. Now, I wasn't going crazy like I was before, but I was falling back into some old ways, and I kind of seen it, but I just didn't want to admit it. And in that cell that night, God spoke to me, and He told me, if this is what you want to do, this is where you're going to spend the rest of your life. So the next day, Erica came to pick me up. They said I wasn't getting out, all this. I told her, come get me. They're going to let me out of here. Sure enough, I go in front of a judge, they let me out. Well, when Erica come to get me, as soon as I got in the car, I started telling her what God had done. And I mean, I'm animated about it. I'm in tears, everything, telling her what's going on. So we start seeking out a church. Turned away by a place because I have a record. I wanted to work with the youth group, and it just wasn't God's plan. So she looked up online and found Capital City Church. We started watching online. The second Sunday we watched, Mike Correa was talking about somebody having something with their stomach, and even mentioned that it might be somebody online. It was Erica. She'd never experienced anything like that before. So that morning, she was saved in my living room, and I rededicated my life all on the same day. We came straight to the church. Wanted to tell everybody about it. We got here, it's an hour later, everybody's still here. And we started telling them, told them the whole story, was completely transparent about my prison sentence and everything. Nobody blinked an eye. All they wanted to do was, hey, you come here, meet this guy. Hey, you come here, meet this guy. All it was love. And since that day, all God has shown us is love. We've been obedient, we listened, and we seek God. And when we seeked Him with all of our hearts, He showed Himself. No matter what I was doing wrong, God still loved me. And still loved me enough to be beside me the entire prison sentence, do everything, come to this place, give us this wonderful place to worship, all these people that just love us to death. And that's what it's been ever since, is nothing but love. And I thank God every day for this place. I thank God every day for bringing me here. I even thank God for sending me to prison. Without all of that, I don't know if we would be here like this. I may be dead or with a life sentence. But God's love is never ending. And I thank Him for it. And I love this. I love the opportunity to be able to sit here and do this and talk to people and talk to you guys. And I guess that's a good spot to end. So I love you guys. Have a great day. Be safe.